Well, it was a packed house for the meeting of the Sioux City Community School Board tonight. The first 45 minutes filled with listening to citizens' concerns, many discussing the behavior of board members. Several people brought up concerns about the way Bob Michelson phrased a recommendation at a meeting last month, calling his comment about the district's English language learners segregation, something that Michelson called a misunderstanding. There was also concerns from community members on what they call negative behaviors of board members targeting Dan Greenwell.
Highly encourage you to stop being so aggressive to folks. Stop retaliating. Okay? It's not that hard. And we can't make any progress if we have people like you that are going to aggressively attack folks. We can't have those conversations because they don't feel safe.
Now, the board also voting on its leadership for the coming year, re-electing Jan George as president and Trayla Lee as vice president. George addressing the concerns that were brought up by the public.
No.
Because 75%.
We have a right to listen to what they're saying, and we internalize. And I think, you know, like I said before, I love the passion that they come, and they keep us on the hot seat, and that's good. That makes us rethink some things, and okay, how do we present things differently? And go from there.
Now, George asked several of the citizens, are we doing enough? To which they responded no. And he asked if they could do more, which several agreed that they could. The district also agreeing to spend more than $6 million on 15 new electric buses and charging stations for the buses. Board voting 6-0 to accept the bid for $5.8 million to buy the 15 buses, using money from the district's physical plant and equipment levy to cover the $240,000 difference between the bid amount and the EPA grant that the district is getting to buy the buses. Board also agreeing to spend $340,000 to buy 15 charging stations for the buses, spending another $40,000 in PEPL money to cover the cost beyond the $300,000 EPA grant for those chargers.